Oh wow, there we go. My voice is a bit weird, but there we go. Welcome to Rimworld. We're going to be playing this on the channel. It is Alpha 13, or Update 13, I believe. And we have got to start off by creating a world. So we're going to go for the Derp seed, because why not? So you have to actually generate a world before you can start a colony. Now, because this is our first playthrough of this game, we're gonna go for a bit more lax terrain. We're gonna hopefully try and find some mountains with some temperatures that are not too hostile. And I'll be explaining the game as we go along, don't worry. We're probably gonna go over here. It's rather close to the sea, but it's got average temperature in January of -8 degrees Celsius. Average temperature in July is 23.5. It is temperate forest, mountainous terrain, a lot of rainfall, which might not be bad. And you have the growing period, so we can grow crops, etc. from the 6th of spring to the 6th of fall. Okay, so we'll just go there. New colony. We're gonna be picking Randy. No. We're gonna go for Cassandra Classic, I think. Basically, you have 3 different AI storytellers, and depending on who you pick, you might get different random events. Cassandra Classic here is basically the longer you play, the harder it gets. Then we have Phoebe Chillax, lots of time between disasters to relax and build. And then we have Randy Random. He just doesn't care. He does whatever. He's got a smiley face on his head. But yeah, we're going to be going for Cassandra Classic. And yeah, we'll go for rough. Why not? It's sort of in the middle. And this is basically where you select your difficulty. You can go from free play, where you can just basically build things. Threats will appear, but they're extremely weak. You've got base builder, which is a little bit scaled back. Then you have rough, it's in the middle. We have challenge. A challenging game. This level requires strategy, tactics, and luck, the way Rimworld was meant to be played. But since this is our first series, we're going to be playing on just rough, which can be rough enough. And then there's also extreme for those people who are sadistic and want to play hard. Very hard. Enemies are strong, prices are poor, food is scarce, and colonists are grumpy. For those who enjoy digital suffering. So this game is inspired by Dwarf Fortress and Dune, Warhammer 40k, that sort of thing. We're going to select the world that we just created. And then we're going to have to pick a spot. So we're just going to go right back here. And it was over here, I believe. Yep, there we go. Now we have 3 colonists that we can create. Basically, you can customize these and randomize these. They can also have relationships, like they can be brothers or lovers. They can be married, that sort of thing. Which is a thing they added recently, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna just quickly randomize these people off camera, and I'll let you know why and how in a second. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I've randomized some colonists here. I've taken a look and tried to make sure that not too many of them have negative traits, etc. So let's walk through them one by one. We have Pablo Vertoli, who as a child was a medieval slave and grew up to be a taxonomist. And they get certain bonuses and negatives, or sometimes they grow incapable of doing some things because of that backstory. And we can see here Pablo Vertoli is incapable of anything violent, so he has no shooting skill, no melee skill. He is an optimist, which gives him a permanent mood bonus of 6. And he's beautiful, which makes everyone like him, which comes into play in the social interactions, etc., which is a thing that they added in this update, so that's going to be interesting. Now let's take a look at the skills. He's got a social of 1. He's got 6 animals. He's got passionate, so he's going to learn this animal skills at 1 time speed. If you don't have passion or a burning passion, you will learn at 0.3 times speed. So you get a penalty to certain skills, but a bonus to others. And I like to try and round my colonists off a bit so that they complement each other, basically. But yeah, he's got a small He's interested in cooking, and he's got a passion for growing and mining, which is good. So this guy is gonna tend to our crops, and he's gonna do a lot of our mining stuff, because he gets 1.5 times experience for any mining and growing, etc. that he does. Now we can see over here, prior to coming to this colony, or getting shipwrecked rather, he's been stabbed in the head. So I guess he's lucky to have survived that, but he has taken some permanent damage to his head because of that, which will be indicated in his health tab by a stab scar. Next up, we have a relationship here. He is the father of Marat Vertolli over here. We'll be taking a look at him soon. And they like each other a lot more, because of course a father likes his son. I mean, it's not a given, but 99% of the times it's the case that people in the family like each other, and in the game you get a positive bonus, which is great. Next, let's take a look at Austin Skippy Ham, who was a childhood spy and grew up to be a geologist. He's not incapable of anything, so that's good. He's going to be a good all-rounder. He's a hard worker, which gives him extra work speed, so basically he does everything a little bit faster. He is cold tolerant, which changes up what the temperatures are that he feels comfortable with, so he can tolerate 14 extra degrees of cold. However, he is slightly less tolerant of heat. And he is staggeringly ugly, which socially repels others. Poor girl, actually. Anyway, at the skills, she is a skilled professional at shooting with a skill of 9, and she's got a burning passion for it, so she's likely going to be our initial soldier, quote unquote. She's going to be doing the protection. She does have an interest in mining, but that's about it really, so not standout, but a good soldier to have. And then finally we have Marat Vertolli, who grew up as a sheltered child to become a castaway. The only survivor of a ship crash in an uninhabited animal world. Speaking of shipwrecks. Anyway, she's incapable of intellectual, so she can't do research. She's incapable of social. And she's incapable of doing artistic stuff. However, she's a careful shooter, which gives her a bonus to shooting. She's got a burning passion for it as well, which is going to be useful. We've got increased aim time, but she does have 50% extra accuracy, which might be useful. So it's going to take... she's going to fire less, but she might hit more. And she's lazy, which gives a global work speed debuff of 20%. Next up, skills. She has an interest in melee, which is good. We might need melee at some point. For reasons we'll find out when we get in the game. And he has a burning passion for animals, medicine, and cooking. So this is going to help get our meals off the ground. We've got a great doctor in him as well, and an animal handler too. And of course, son of Pablo Vertolli, so they're going to like each other more. You can also see the age, and basically the biological age is 57 here, and chronological age is 972. So he spent a lot of time in cryosleep. Whereas Austin, or Skippy for example, is only 34 chronologically. So Skippy spent like 17 years in cryosleep, traveling, that sort of thing. I think I might have mixed it up. Pablo might be the son and Marat might be the father, because it would be a little bit weird to have a 970-year-old father with a 68-year-old son. We can actually check the dates, I believe. Yep, you were born in 5400, you were born in 4500. Yep, this is the dad. So yeah, let's get into the actual game, shall we? With our abundant set of colonists. Okay, there we go. The three of you awake in your cryptosleek sarcophagi to the sound of sirens and ripping metal. You barely get to the escape pods before the ship is torn apart. Sometime later, you'll land on this unknown Rimworld. Roll credits. As pieces of the shredded starship fall around you, you start making plans to survive. Alright. What do we have here? So we can see the map, which is all well and good. We've got a grizzly bear. That's bad. You don't want to go hugging a grizzly bear. We've got a pet husky. So that's cool. And it's bonded with Skippy. Alright, so first of all, Skippy, you were good at shooting, weren't you? You can look at character here and see the skills. Yes. You're gonna get the survival rifle. Fertoli, pistol. Pablo, I guess you can carry the knife for now. Okay, now we have our people armed. We have a bunch of packaged survival meals here, which we can select for hauling. We've got a bunch of metal scattered around the place, as well as a bunch of silver. Silver is basically money, so that's going to be good. We'll turn the medicine and etc. for hauling. We've got an alpaca here, actually. And we've got some components. That's good. They added those in the most recent update, and we're going to need components to build a lot of things, really. So we're going to be taking a look around at the map. Ideally, we want to build in sort of a cove like this. So I think we'll set up camp over here, because enemies might be able to spawn in on the edge of the map here, and we can build some defenses here. So hopefully cordon this off pretty well and stay sort of safe. We've got some more survival meals over there, so we're not going to starve to death. And we're going to get tutorial pop-ups like this occasionally, so if we select a colonist and hit draft, they are now in the military. And we can order them around by pressing the right mouse button, etc. Man-hunting animals generally won't attack doors or inactive turrets. You can escape them by getting inside or behind a wall, but they'll wait for you. Right, so let's take a look at our little corridor here. We've got gold, actually, which is a rare material. You can use gold to build pretty things, and it sells for a lot of stuff. But over here is what we are going to require more. We have compacted steel. We're going to go over here and we're going to give a mining order. We can use that. Now let's go over into furniture, actually. We're going to assign some sleeping spots. So basically, that is just a zone on the ground that we allocated for people to be able to sleep. If we go into zones and areas, we're gonna designate a stockpile zone over here. So they're gonna start dragging things over here. And this is where we will store our medicine, our food, our wood, components, everything basically, even money. So they're gonna start hauling that. Then we can assign a growing zone, where we will be able to grow plants, which is going to be very useful. Let's speed things up just a little bit. You do always get a pet at the start, by the way, and you can train them for obedience, which will allow you to use them in combat, for example. You can release them to attack distant targets. You can train them to rescue wounded colonists, because they will go down after a while, which will require you to put them in bed, give them medical care, etc. You can also train them for hauling, and the amount of training and what you can train pets in depends on their trainable intelligence. We're not going to train him yet. Oh look, some bunnies. We might be able to designate hunting on them. I've also got a squirrel, although I'm more worried about the grizzly bear. I mean, he's gonna go hungry at some point, and he will hunt animals or us, which is bad, like really bad. Luckily, we've got a lot of steel from this compacted steel over here. Just gonna go into orders, and we're gonna give another mining order. You can assign a tame animal to be trained. Yes, thank you. I just figured that out. Let's take a quick look at... Where's the button? It's been a while since I played this, and... Okay, there we go, work. Here we see what people can do. And you can see they have burning passion, regular interest, or nothing at all. So we can set this specifically. So right now we just have selected you can do this, you can do that, etc. You cannot do the things that are grayed out, or else some of you can. Anyway, we're going to be switching it up to manual priorities, which means we can tell them, hey, if there's a fire, that needs to be done first. If you are wounded, get into a bed. If anyone is wounded, I'd like Fertoli to take care of them. Bed rest, so for example, if you get the plague, which is a thing in this game, they're gonna lie in bed. Now let's take a look. Flick. Flick switches. For example, if you designate toggling power on a turret. Yeah, we'll set that to 2, I guess. Warden to 2. We've got an animal handler, that is Vertoli. There we go. Vertoli's also going to be a primary cook. I'd like Skippy to do the hunting, actually. So, if we set a... For example, we select a squirrel and we can press the hunt button here. Skippy will hunt it at some point, and then bring it back. We've also got things like... construction, repair, rowing. Rowing's going to be good for Pablo. And we'll get these set up. Let's have hauling set to 1 so that people will always haul things that are lying around. That way we don't have a huge backlog. We're going to cleaning to 4. Later on, when you get people that are incapable of doing a lot of things, you might have them prioritize cleaning or hauling or that sort of thing, so that they're still busy doing something. But I guess this is fine for now. We've got our people working. It's still daytime, so they're not going to sleep quite yet. They did make the days a little bit longer in the recent update, which is fine. Although, of course, when I mention it, they're going to go to bed now. Or at least, it's getting late. And we have animals, like this squirrel is actually eating our packed survival meals. I've just told Skippy, hey, you can hunt these. And now they're dead. And their bodies are slowly going to start spoiling. And they have been dead for less than a day, which you can tell. You can look at health to see what they have. Like, for example, this hare took a gunshot to the body and died. And the squirrel, we actually shot off its right front leg. We could take a look at things like statistics. It gives a beauty of minus 150, because who likes watching a dead corpse, right? That's right, nobody. You can configure how colonists should automatically respond to threats like predatory animals. Where's the grizzly bear? There's the grizzly bear. It's alright. We're safe for now. You can choose from flee, attack, ignore. We're going to take a look at that at some point in the future. Right now it doesn't really matter that much. We're just trying to get off the ground. Now you can see that we have planted a bunch of plants here in the growing zone, which is all well and good. We've got potato plants by default. So that should help us get some potatoes up. Now, they're sleeping out in the open in the same room, which is not great. Let's build them a small wooden room where they can sleep. You can right click on things, select the material, etc. So we're just going to be building out of wood. It's cheap, it's cost effective. And just for... there we go, we'll claim that wall. So it's now our wall instead of just a random wall. And we have roofed this area. So they're not going to be sleeping outside anymore. They're still going to be sharing a room, but at least they're not going to be... you know, they're not going to be sleeping out in the open, in the rain, that sort of thing. Now we've got Pablo and Vertoli are currently idle, so we can take a look at work here. And we can see... we can give them extra plant cutting. And we're probably going to get a... chop wood order out. We're just gonna chop down a bunch of trees for a ton of wood. And we might actually be able to build a couple walls to start fencing this area off and provide some more safety. Oh, this is a new ore that they added recently. Compacted machinery, so we might be able to chop that up for some components. We can also deconstruct ship chunks that are found across the map now. And they will sometimes randomly fall down, because of course we came from a shipwreck in orbit. Or at least one strives to think if it's actually orbit when the chunks fall down here. Either way, we now have a bunch of extra components from that. And there's things like sandstone chunks around, etc. that you can actually turn into stone chunks later, which you can build beautiful walls with, like this marble wall. Right now we are also gonna go harvest, because there's some bushes around here. And they grow berries. Eventually they grow enough and you can get some random berries. Vomit of Pablo's on the ground here. So Pablo is feeling a little bit ill, maybe. Let's take a look at his health. Oh, he seems to be doing fine now. Let's take a look at their moods. He's got very low expectations because we are a poor colony right now. New colony optimism. And a cute animal nuzzled him, which makes him feel good. And he's just randomly feeling good. However, he's got some minor debuffs as well. He ate without a table, so eating off the ground. He's sharing a bedroom. He slept on the ground, and he's now randomly feeling terrible, and the room is very crowded. However, because the room is big enough, he's got a spacious interior buff. So yeah, people can actually break down if they're unhappy enough. Items left outdoors will slowly degrade. If you want to store items long term, keep them under a roof. So it's probably useful that we build a, if temporary, house around here. We'll get that in place right away. There we go. And we'll put doors there and there. There we go. So they can enter from 3 sides. And it's gonna be all well and good. Then things shouldn't degrade anymore. Like right now we have packaged survival meals, slowly degrading. Components probably doing fine because they're metal. Put some more metal over, some more steel over here actually. And we've got some compacted machinery over here, which I'll tell them to mine. It's gonna be good. Fertoli is cloud watching right now, which is one of the things they do to keep their morale up. Joy filled. They need joy to stay happy, etc. And they can do certain things like cloud watching, playing chess, watching television, all that sort of good stuff. You can actually buy televisions later from merchants, etc. We've got a lot, and I mean a lot, of steel here, which is good, because we're going to need a lot of it. We could start mining the gold for an early rush. Oh, we've got an event. A Navy scientist from Boulder's Rest Stop is visiting the colony. She's named Yuko Ray. She seems to have a few items to trade. So we've got a merchant coming over. Which is one of the new things they added in this update. Random factions are spawned in when you create a world. And if they're in good relations with you, if they like you, they can come around and trade. So you're not reliant on space traders. Which is good. Okay, so we've got Yuko over here. She's got a question mark, which indicates she is the trader. She's a negotiator, basically. So let's take a look at work quickly. We're gonna go check out Warden to see who is our best social person. Nobody. Do we have anyone idle? Yeah, Fertoli's idle, but Fertoli can't. I mean, doesn't really matter. Trade with Yuko. Now we have a trade screen open. We can buy a triple rocket launcher. We can buy a sniper rifle. At least, if we could afford it. Look at that price. And we can sell things like the sniper rifle. No, the medicine we have. We can sell some components. However, components are things like gears, circuit boards, wires, tubes. Which is basically just a collection. And we're going to need that, so no, there's not really anything we can... or anything I'd like to sell, really, so... We can also check market value, which is... Oh, it's sorted by market value, there we go. But yeah, there's nothing really we want, necessarily, so... We're gonna pass. And we are gonna build... some furniture. There's a lot of things we can build. You can expect to impress them. Yeah, we'll take a look at that later. We can build beds, double beds, royal beds... animal sleeping spots where our husky can sleep. We can build a steel sleeping box or an animal bed. A stool, a dining chair, an armchair, a table, short and long. We can build a plant, we can build an equipment rack, standing lamp, etc. However, that's not really what I'm looking for. What I was looking for is a simple research bench. We need to research stuff if we're going to stay here for a while. Right now we can probably get away with a fueled stove, which is going to require wood to work. And basically the little circle when placing things is where the colonists need to stand to interact, so make sure that that place is free. We're going to be building ourselves a fueled stove, which requires fuel, and basically means wood. We can cook simple meals now, and simple meals are a little bit better than basic food. We can use meat, we can use vegetables, we can use animal products like eggs, insect jelly, which is a new thing. Hopefully we won't encounter that, but if we do, that's gonna get very interesting to say the least. But yeah, we're right now we only need simple meals. We only need vegetables for simple meals, so we're just gonna do that. And we're gonna maintain 10 simple meals. So simple meals require things like berries, potatoes, and all that sort of stuff. Basically just vegetables that you can grow. Let's see if we have... Yeah, we have a lot more plants in the area that have berries, etc. And you can see Fertoli is now cooking, and that is our first simple meal. Spoils in a couple of days, but it does feed slightly more than the sum of its parts, and it makes people feel less terrible, which is good, because we could use that. We really could. Anyway, we've been going on for quite a while. I think I'm going to end the episode here. So if you enjoyed this video, then please do leave a like down below. And let me know how you feel about Rimworld in the comments down below. And until next time, have a good one, folks.